think about all the kinds of light workers there are in the world, and are you? What's your so I talk about how when you're living your purpose, you're literally like radiating light, and so that's ultimately what a light worker does, and so I want to talk about sort of like, I want to give you a metaphor today. I want to give it, sort of have it solid in your mind. I run the Reese Thomas Institute, and we teach energy medicine. We teach all kinds of light work, kinds of techniques and processes and everything, just like in a mystery school. And I think in my in my little forward here about light workers, there was a Reiki, emotional code, good, hospice work, nice. All of these, so these are all light worker type of things that you will do. But interestingly, though, when we have this term light worker, and that means really people that are bringing more light to the world, right? Where someone is down and depressed, or in what we call defense. And on an upcoming program that I'm going to have about profiles, and in my book, Discover Your Purpose, I talk about that there is your core quality within you that just, where the soul literally just is unfiltered and just kind of comes out, and you are literally living your core purpose, and you are radiating light. In every room you walk into, people feel better, they feel fantastic, and you feel great in everything that happens. Doesn't matter whether it's hard or whatever. And then there's times when you're in what we call defense. Now, defense is actually, strangely, defense has nothing to do with the soul. It's the antithesis of the soul. It's called thinking. Okay, so I mean, and so when your thinking emerges out of your radiant light, that's sort of like, I just love being this. Like when you were a child, it was like, I love this about me. When you're sharing that, okay, that's just a total flow of energy, and your infinite energy. But when your brain gets involved and says, we can't say that, and don't do this, and oh, sit up straight, and oh my God, your mic's on sideways, and what's the matter with you? And everything is based on what you're thinking. Thinking by its nature isn't designed to express anything of any value. Okay, thinking by its nature is designed to protect you, contain you, make you normal, make you not sort of ostracized by the family, by the culture, by anything, and to get along and to make money and to do those sort of things, which God knows we all need to do. And that's why we have a couple of chakras that do that. But we've got 12 chakras that don't, 11 chakras that don't, that really are here for radiating light reasons. And so the idea that what we are actually made of is a field of energy that is designed. Our energy field is designed to reflect and radiate light. And so we have a crystal here, and if you see the crystal, and you'll notice that the light, as I move the crystal around, okay, the lights in the room are being sent off in different directions, right? Okay, and I can try to get it right toward the light, there we go, right in there. There you go. So you can see, let me see if I can get that right. That nice little rainbow. Where am I going to get that rainbow? Right in there. So you can see that. So you see how that rainbow is, that's coming out. Well, that's what this does, right? That's what this is for. And so if you're going to try to be a light worker, what's the one thing you need to be a light worker? Well, more light. I want you to think about the way people try to become light workers. And it's because we're programmed this way. We're programmed to go to school, learn something, then you'll know something, right? And then you'll really be ready, okay? Now, but does light work that way? Can you teach light to be better than it was before somehow, okay? So we have this mindset that we're going to go and we're going to learn a healing modality. And listen, I run a 3-year training in energy medicine, in healing work. We teach hands-on healing. We teach all kinds of assessment and psychic work and transformational, you name it, as well as how to pick the right career, the right relationship, how to make your relationships amazing, right? I mean, that's, we do the life purpose profiles. A number of people have said, you ought to turn that into, if you taught Match.com or somebody how to actually understand the profiles, you could actually get people together that actually want to be together and stay together, and they were energetically born to be together. So but this awareness, within us, okay, that we have these qualities, okay, is really, really, really important to understand. If you think about what we end up trying to do when we are trying to train ourselves to do things, what we're doing is we are like a rock. Okay, now this is a really cool rock, because now listen, our rocks have learned how to love, right? So I found this on the beach here in Spain, and it's a beautiful heart rock, right? It's gorgeous, right? And it's done so much work. Think about what this was. This was maybe, I don't know, some big, huge chunk of slab or something under the ocean, and then it got chipped off and ground around and wound up on the beach and ground and all stuff. And it's done so much work. It has learned 14 healing practices. It has gone to school. It's done its work. It's become a heart, okay? And its whole purpose in life is to remind others that gaze upon it that love exists, that even a rock can embody the energy and the flow. And by the way, the heart energy is actually what happens. It looks that we see the heart this way, okay? Because when one person, if you have one aura, I don't know how I'm going to do this, one aura here, okay, and then another one facing it here, okay, what happens between those two auras is that the bottom part of the aura actually bonds very solidly because it's connected, and the upper part's still a little bit apart. So the V of the heart actually is what happens when two souls, two energy fields come into union together. So this rock has done that. Now, here's the next problem though. Now, if this rock, which is what we are, right, at our first chakra, okay, wants to become a light worker, there's got to be somehow you get light out of that, okay? And light bounces off it. And if I try to play it like a crystal bowl, I mean, I can make some noise with it. I could go, but that's not giving you a spiritual experience, because this is the part of you, this light bending part of you, that sound bending part, that wave bending part of you is actually what awakens you and what takes you to that deeper soul level, and what transforms you, right? And what lets you know your purpose. So the question is does this rock know its purpose? Does it have enough consciousness around it to know its purpose? No. So it just has to be part of the purpose of the universe to just exist. And it's done, and the universe, which has a lovely sense of humor, makes things into things that us conscious people say, oh, if you can do that to a rock, what can you do with me? Well, what you can do with me is this, okay? So imagine that when you do not just technique work, when you don't just learn a technique, which is trying to teach your rock to do healing work, which you can chisel it into a form and you can say, well, I've got this degree. How many people that have degrees are really helping the world do anything? No, because they just learned how to do things the way everybody else learned how to do things. And your shine, your light is unique to you. And there's only one person in the world that can shine your light. And the difference between a technique program and a mastery program and the program that I teach at the Reese Thomas Institute is mastery, okay? And we teach the Life Mastery Training Program. And mastery isn't about making your rock better, okay? It's about literally transforming that rock into a diamond. Now, how do you do that? Well, you got to put pressure on it. Think about the masters who created those healing modalities that you are now learning. They weren't just walking down the street going, la, 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 smoking a butt, doing whatever. They weren't doing that. And then, boom, an incredible healing modality came through me. I think I'll understand chakras now. I think I'll learn. I create qigong. I think I'll create Reiki. I think I'll create, some sort of a heart connection, a infinite sort of consciousness level. No, they spent years, 20, 30 years disciplining this, which is what mastery is, okay? And then those healing modalities just fell out of them. They just fell out of them. So I want you to really get this, that we've really, and I said it right in the very first line of this, we are going at learning how to be light workers completely backward. We're trying to find the leftover remnants of thinkers. So I'm going to study Buddhism and do Buddhist meditation the way the Buddha did, because I want to be a light worker. But what if your light isn't, your light is actually better than the Buddha's light, which it is, I guarantee, right? He lived way long ago. You're generation after generation. Every generation is stronger than the last generation, okay? Because it takes two people, takes both their energies, and then they make one child or a bunch of children. But they basically, every generation has double the energy of the last generation. Okay, that's why we're becoming more conscious. That's why these insane things that these unconscious people are doing are really getting us in the world right now. We're really having a hard time with that. And I know that over in the States, nobody would ever challenge, these crazy powers that be. But over here in Spain, they just literally dismissed the right wing because they were so corrupt out of the government, and made them start a whole new, everybody to come back brand new and have to come up with people that aren't corrupt. And get this, this is a fiefdom over here, our kingdom over here, and they are actually right now, they are realizing that the king, not the current king, but the previous king that everybody was there forever, stole everything, and he's going to go to jail. I mean, he's an old guy, and they're going to send him to jail. And everybody that laundered money for him, everybody. So it's like light. In some areas of the world, people are unwilling to be lied to anymore. There's certain things that this light is here to do. And being crooked and collecting and hoarding and all that sort of stuff is not it. It's sharing. Light workers are the ones that are going to wake us up to the fact that there's plenty in the world. There's an infinite amount for everyone. And if there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, there's enough for 7.5 billion people to live happy, productive, amazing lives. And light workers are the ones that do that. Now, what you need to do that is have more light than their rock, okay? The rock needs to be so much pressure, so if I could take this rock and put it under infinite pressure, right? Okay, it would turn into, at some level, it would start reforming, and that pressure would turn it into a crystal. Okay, and so ultimately, the crystal bowl is a perfect representation of the end result of high pressure. So a crystal bowl is made. Crystal bowl is our basic quartz crystals, and they're put under like 2,500 degrees of heat. Okay, and melted, and then they melt into these forms, and they're guided to do that. That's like their purpose in life is to melt into that, and then when they come out. Each one, there are no two crystal bowls that are the same. Each one has its own purpose, and it's been formed into an amazing form that allows it to radiate sound, vibration, and light. So if you could see light, when I'm playing this bowl right now, and I want you to listen to this bowl because this is a really important one for you, notice that when you close your eyes and feel that, you both see light experience things, become aware of things in the mind. Things are sparking in there, and vibrationally, the bowl's going through you, just like a healer would be. If a healer were sending energy through you, a light worker would not only be using light, but they'd be using vibration. And I do believe that most healing work that we learn is just vibration. It's really, most of us live at the vibration level. Chakra 6 and 7, that's light, and we haven't even learned how to manage that yet. But these vibrations, now that is light. That is waking up the vibrational, the quality, the light qualities, the vibrational light qualities within our bodies. All those auras, all those levels, all those incredible levels. So listen again. And now I want you to think about, now first of all, write down whatever you felt. I can tell you what, I'll give you some readings. I always love to do readings on these just because it's fun, and whatever you felt, that's your life purpose. That's it. And you've just got to learn how to map it. That's why I run a school in energy medicine, because it's it is the essence, of being able to know each organ, each joint, every part of your body is literally a part of your soul's expanded energy, and so when we can get light like that, when we can open the gateway, to open the doorway so your soul comes through and you feel it in your body and it's real, because there's no reason why you felt that. And so the goal of being a light worker is getting more light in you. To get more light in you, you have to let the light come through, and you have to practice letting the light come through. And so each of these areas, here's your rock, okay? Here's your rock, and here's your chakras, which are kind of like, they're kind of gooey. They're not, they're still like connected to people and things, and you're thinking, and they're solid, and they do a lot. And then there's this line right here known as the heart line. I call it the life purpose line. And that are where all of your contracts are. And so that's like a level of you it's so solid. It's like it's the part of you that I can't stop being human. I could try so many different ways to try to be something else, but this is my contract. My contract is to be this, and you have to know that contract. And to get and then finally over here, this is totally, there's a picture of me there, but that's just to hold the space. The truth is that it's just at this level, we're just pure light. And so being a light worker is accessing this level. To access that level, you have to practice all of the things that get it to here, right? And so in your life purpose, doing healing work, just like those masters, okay? So the master who created a healing, all right, or a meditation or a high level something, what probably, when he was in the monastery, or he was in the mystery school learning, maybe 20% of his time, 10% of his time was actually doing healing work, but the rest was done on learning and feeling how to open that channel so the light that's inside radiates out. This is the direction that energy work is now heading. Yes, healing work is a great discipline. If you do a lot of healings, you'll learn how to move energy better. But the energy that you need to move, a light worker isn't just a healer. A light worker is someone who's found that light, and I use the saying Christ always said, you have to take the bushel basket off of your light, uncover your light, pull over the bushel basket. That's what we do with who we think we are. Our brain says no. Our light never stops shining. We're all light workers, infinitely smart and powerful. And so when we are sharing our light and really expanding our light, it means that we have taken off, we've taken off all the masks Okay. And what we're doing is we are letting this energy here come through our purpose. Now, one part of our purpose, especially if you're listening to me, may be to do healing work. Okay. But the biggest purpose in here, I guarantee you, is figuring out the kind of person you were born to be and be that. Don't be fake. Don't be like, be authentic. What's it mean to be authentic? Well, you knew it as a child. And actually in my book, Discover Your Purpose, I have a little exercise in there called Your Secret Place. And there are times in your life when you felt this just sort of like, I just love being me. Right. And I just play. It's just like life was just everything about life in that moment was fine. It was like, even if you were angry, it was like, everything was real. That's authentic. Okay. Now, we have this problem where we have focused so much of our energy on being a loving rock that we stopped. Now this rock is totally protected, isn't it? It's like, it's a rock. Right? It's like, I'm a heart and I'm going to be a heart and I'm really a heart and this is it. And I'm a rock. And so this rock is by its nature, its purpose was somehow to get ground into a heart. And then also its job is to just hold space. And if all you're going to do in life is hold space, be a rock. But if you're going to inspire people, and I'll play a different bowl now. If you're going to inspire people, you need to put enough attention on all of these other levels of your energy field so that you can experience how to radiate light from who you are. So this bowl is just a rock. But this is a rock that's been under much higher pressure than that other rock. Much more specific training. It was trained, it was melted, it melted down from just being a bunch of crystals, melted them all down to nothing, and then came back and reemerged with what it was born to be and what all those crystals were born to be, which is a light. So there's literally light radiating from this bowl. All right, well, I'm going to tell you a little something about this bowl. So this bowl is a first chakra bowl. And I bought it because it has this, I can't remember what crystal was in it, but it was very, you can see that it's like a rainbow, right? It's got rainbow qualities to it. And I'm a huge believer that every one of us is a crystal. And our job is to bend vibrational waves, which are both sound at the lower level, at the lower chakra levels, and light at the upper chakra levels. And we have both within our system. So we're here to bend sound and light into forms, into consciousness, into awareness. And when light comes into us, right? Like it came into this bowl, okay? And when certain kinds of activities and pressures are put on our energy field, and we have purified ourselves at all the levels, and this is really important to get. If you got a guitar and you got only one string that you aren't sort of like resting your fingers on, that string goes ding, but all of them go, brr, brr, brr. There's nothing there because you haven't tuned them to what you want. You haven't made the chord. You haven't done that. You haven't done the work to figure out how to do it. And so just learning to do healing work is one thing. But what if you knew your purpose? What if you knew how it felt to have your purpose? Then as you do your healing work, you could hold that purpose, you could hold that quality within you, and that would accelerate your advancement. That would accelerate. And so these people that you study their healings from and their brilliant ideas, and Einstein, you think Einstein was when he was working at the patent office, he just went like, oh, bing, I think I'm going to create the theory of relativity, at 17. No, discipline, focus, revealing, working it through, pressure, turning yourself into a crystal. So when the light does come through, you bend it your way. You send it out. And so someone like a Martin Luther King is standing up there in front of people, and that light is just pouring through him, and not one little bit of it got stuck in there, right? Because he was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to get up here and say, you people are mean, and you got to just stop what you're doing. No, it was brilliant, right? And every person has got a Martin Luther King moment in them. Every person has got many. Every day you have one of those. So that's a lesson for the day, okay? Be a light worker. Light workers find how to fill themselves with more and more and more light, and they understand that mystery school still exists. You have to do all those disciplines. The mystery, all the people that you think are like the wizards, they all went to mystery school in some way, or multiple mystery schools in different disciplines. Some were martial arts, and some was meditative training, and they did healing work and psychic work, and they did aloneness, and they worked on every element of their energy field until they could actually feel how to let the light shine through them. And then, amazingly, we call them saints and mystics and things like that, and they didn't need to eat anymore. They didn't ever get tired. They literally radiated. All their power came from inside. It didn't come from having a cup of coffee. It didn't come from doing yoga or eating, wheatgrass or whatever it is that you're doing, right? It came right from inside. But to do that, you have to have the discipline of taking all of the rock that we've put on top of it. This rock, like that bowl, was the first chakra bowl. And now that's a first chakra. What if your first chakra, which is your body, literally could radiate out a sound like that? Well, oh, my voice. Oh, yeah, my body can do that. Is you're sending out a message that's your message. It's an authentic message, and would you know if it's an authentic message? And I can tell you there's one way to always know, and I'm going to talk about it on the webinar. But there's also one easy way to know, which is what you do makes you happy. Your level of happiness has the direct correlation with how much soul light is coming out of you. And only you know whether you're happy or not, because there's a lot of people that are like, I'm so freaking happy. I'm happy with everything. And they mean that they've got enough money in the bank, they got enough, they're controlling their environment. It's like, I'm really happy. But control will never make you happy. It'll only make you afraid. Okay, happiness is really just freedom to just radiate this light. And that wakes up people. That actually is what the world needs now. We need light workers everywhere. And doing lots of different little, methods and things like that are going to are definitely going to start the process. But if you want to go really fast, you gotta do them all. You gotta dig. You gotta discipline. I did 25 years of martial arts. I thought I was going to be a tough guy. I realized that I was actually being called to what a light worker would train. They would train their physical body to move energy, to move chi energy, and feel it.